The first thing I hear always when I walk in the door here at One City are the voices of the children. It just feels so good to be here. You know, you just see in them what the potential of the future is. Here at One City, we created a model in preschool education. The goal is to create a seamless transition for children from early childhood through not only elementary school, but in the future through high school.
Our classroom is busy and energetic. We encourage kids to come to us with their own ideas.
I color on paper to make a heart and we give to our family. I like building stuff with magnet tiles. I like making books with my teacher.
The teaching staff at One City are some of the hardest working people you'll find in Madison.
The thing that stands out for me is the passion and drive that teachers bring to the school place. They really want to see children succeed.
After looking at a lot of great schools, we settled on One City because we felt that it provided the best educational opportunities, and it's been great ever since.
Out of all the children who started with us at 2 and 3 years old, there's literally no achievement gap. For those children that come early, the success that they're having in our schools is just an awesome thing to see.
My school is so awesome because I have lots of more friends that love me and care about me.
I get excited to come to work because I love hanging with my kids. They make me laugh, they make me smile. They continually surprise me.
What I love about One City is love. It's the love that the teachers put in everything.
I would say this is a place where you will feel like you are at home.
Every day when my children get up, this is a highlight of their morning. And as a parent who has to drop your child off and head off into your world, it is so assuring to know that your kids are safe, that they're going to be loved. That's what I love most about One City Schools.
If you want your child to have a very unique experience in an environment that is going to really nurture and support their heart, their mind, their soul, this is where you should be. We'd love to have you come and take a tour and see what we're doing here. There's no other place like it, I can tell you that. I love everything about this place.
I tell you, every time I see that, I'm just looking at our babies here and they're just growing. Those that you've seen in there, they're now in kindergarten. So they were so cute at 3 years old and 4K. So I'm Marilyn Ruffin. Good afternoon or good evening. Thank you for joining us. I am the VP of Family and Community Engagement, our FACE team. And with that, it becomes about you. It's about our scholars. It's about our families, because when we enroll the student, we enrolled the whole family. And because we enrolled the whole family, no one gets left behind in this city called One City. So tonight, this evening, you get to hear about preschool for 4K and under and the enrollment opportunities of joining One City this fall for the 2022-23 school year. So from here, I'm gonna take it right over to our preschool director, Mr. Bryce Pickett.
All right, thank you, Marilyn. Yeah, always enjoy that video and seeing some of our kiddos that have come through and are at the elementary now. So we hope to have you all join us and have the same experience that you saw in that video. And we're just excited to have you all here tonight to join us to hear a little bit about One City. So again, like Marilyn said, I'm Bryce Pickett. I am the preschool director, and I have been with One City since we opened our doors 7 years ago. And then next to me is my colleague. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lisa Cutting. I am the lead teacher in the 2-year-old room, and I am the senior lead teacher at the preschool. I have been here for 5 years now.
Right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to share a presentation with you that we have pre-recorded so that we can be in the chat with you all, answering any of the questions that you might have. So feel free to put them in the chat as we go through the presentation here. But it's just a lot of general information about enrollment and what we do here at One City. So let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. First things first. All right. Let's see. And now. All right, I just want to say one more time, good evening and welcome to our One City Preschool Open House. Again, I am Bryce Pickett. I am the preschool director. I'm very excited to go over this general information with you tonight about One City Preschool and what we're all about. And then at the end of this presentation, I will take time to take you on a virtual tour of the classrooms that we have here at One City. And then we'll also introduce you to the staff. So first things first, if you want to take a quick look here, this is our mission, our vision, and our two main objectives that we have here at One City. So we're looking to form a new model of public education. First things first is our enrollment information, which is the important information that I'm sure all of you want to know for this coming school year. So for our 2-year-olds, our tuition is $290 per week, and for our 3-year-olds, it's $275 per week. And those are paid weekly. We try not to do bi-weekly or monthly payments on those. And then our 4K is tuition free, even though our 4K is housed here at the preschool location on 2012 Fisher Street. It is tuition free because it is part of our elementary school. It stays here at Fisher Street because the 4K shares in our Anji Play curriculum, like we see with our 2- and 3-year-olds. So there are 3 different ways that you can pay for your tuition for your 2- and 3-year-old. We do ACH payments, which is a direct withdrawal right from your bank account. We do have shares, which is a state-funded program that helps pay tuition. There is a link here of where you can apply for that, but you can just go ahead and go on the shares website there. And then we do offer scholarships as well that are funded by donors of One City. You can use a combination of these methods to pay your tuition, but we do not give any full ride scholarships. We do ask that our families put a little of their own skin in the game, and we can make those out-of-pocket payments pretty minimal, but we do ask that our families do provide something of their own way, but there are these other options to work with as well. You can apply online with all your paperwork. That is, if you go to our One City website, and then you go under the For Parents tab, go to enrollment, and then make sure you click on the preschool. All of our forms that you need to enroll at One City preschool are there. Make sure that you click on all the forms, download them, make sure that you bring them in hand back to the preschool. We do not take electronic submission for our preschool paperwork. This will also include that you have a copy of the birth certificate and immunization records from your doctor, as well as something called a child health report. Those all need to be signed to your doctor, so those need to be turned in. Hard copies in person. For our 4K students in particular, they use the PowerSchool software that we have at the elementary school, and Miss Marilyn will talk about that procedure a little bit later. Currently, we have 10 seats available in our 2-year-old program for next year. We have students that will be staying for an additional year in that program because of their age. We have 22 spots available in our 3K program. We have 2 3K rooms, which fit 16 each, but we do have a few students that are moving up from last year into this program. So we only have 22 spots available, and then we'll have 38 spots available in the 4K program. Now, if you are currently a family that is at One City in the 3-year-old program, you are not guaranteed a spot in the 4K program. So please make sure that you get your application materials together so that we can be ready for that. There is a 4K lottery. Because of this, if we have more than 38 applicants that come in, we make sure that we do a lottery so that everybody has a fair chance to get that spot. Again, Ms. Marilyn will talk about that a little more after this presentation. Enrollment starts on March 1st. So yes, even though materials may be available before March 1st, we do not take applicants for the next school year for the preschool and for the 4K until March 1st. So no, you can't hop on our website right now and think you're going to turn in forms ahead of time. We will change all the dates and stuff on the forms, and we will make those available as of the morning of March 1st.
So please make sure that you have March 1st marked on your calendar. Some other enrollment information. We are only offering in-person learning opportunities. With COVID the past few years, we have had virtual options, but we are ready to fully commit back to full in-person learning, and we will continue to do that next school year. Of the 44 seats available, so that's in the 2 and the 3K classrooms, if you are here, it's only available in full-time. We don't take part-time. You are responsible for paying tuition. And again, I've talked about all the different payment options for your tuition. And again, this just reiterates there are scholarships, there is shares. And again, here are the numbers because it's always worth repeating. So for our 2 and 3-year-old program, so that would be anybody that would be in our 2-year-old classroom. It's $290 per week. And then again, in our 3 and 4-year-old program, it's $275 a week. And then if you are 4 by September 1st, you are in the 4K program. And remember that that is tuition free. All right. So one of the big reasons we really encourage our families to come to One City is our amazing Anji Play curriculum. There is a lot of information. There is more and more information out there about the program. You can take a look at some of the information on this slide here, but I recommend going to anjiplay.com and looking at all the information that there is there on the curriculum. And really what, to kind of sum it up, is child-led, play-based curriculum. You know, there's lots of opportunities for children to create their own environments, use their problem solving skills, use conflict resolution, which is helped being facilitated by the teacher, but really we let the child lead what they're trying to do. And again, the anjiplay.com website will be helpful for this, and we'll also be providing more information in articles once you enroll in our program. So this is what the day in an Anji Play school looks like. So you can arrive as early as 7 o'clock here at the preschool, and your child does need to be picked up by 5 o'clock every day. You can pick up earlier than that. In fact, we encourage it, but it starts with play. We come together in a morning meeting, come together as a class. We have meals together. There's a large portion of the morning where it's self-determined play. So we have a ton of different materials for the kids to interact with, whether we are indoor or outdoors. Then we come inside. For 2-year-olds, we have a morning snack. And then for the 3 and 4Ks, that's when they come in and do play stories. And they might have a book that they do with the whole class, or they might have just individual quiet time to be with books and really start to look at those early literacy skills. About 11:15 is when we hit lunch. After lunch, there's a nap for those children that need nap. Otherwise, it's just a quiet time to do something quietly, either at a table or maybe in their own little space. But really to kind of debrief and reflect on the day. Then at 3 o'clock, we'll start that snack. And then the end of the day is just play sharing, talking about what they played for that day, what they learned that day, and then a kind of a closing meeting for the day. And then usually between that 3:15 to 5 o'clock mark is where you as parents are able to come pick up. So just some real fun pictures of our students at One City Preschool here experiencing Anji Play. So in our first picture here with the young lady in the heart coat, you can see that they have fully engaged in enjoying their time with chalk. So we fully encourage students to take risks, get messy. That's just a part of being a kid. So you can see them fully engaged in chalk. In the middle picture, top middle, we have a block area that our children have been exploring shapes and how shapes can fit together, having conversations around that. The third picture on top is one of our former scholars doing barrel rolling. So they're walking on top of the barrels, and in the past, we've had children that can fully walk the length of the playground using these barrels. So again, just a chance for them to really explore their environments, do some problem solving, and learn some basic skills and have fun while doing it. And then the bottom picture in the bottom middle there we have Miss Tiffany, who's one of our 4K teachers, and a few of her former students working on play stories together. So once they came in from one of these play activities that you see above, the students are now describing their play to their teacher. Their teacher is writing down what they said. So you see the students' vocabulary build during this time. You see where their writing is developing as they start to kind of work more with these play stories. You see students really starting to want to do their own writing, and less of the dictation and more of their writing themselves. So it's a very neat process to see how they grow from where they started as 2-year-olds to really where they end by the time they're out of 4K. Some other things to know, like I said, we open at 7, we close at 5. So those are the hours of operation. We can work within those hours. We want to make sure that all drop-offs happen by 9 o'clock. We really try to get into the curriculum by 9 o'clock. And then really after that snack time at the end of the day is where we encourage families to start picking up, but students do need to be picked up by 5. So how do we assess their learning while they play in the Anji Play curriculum? We have a program called Teaching Strategies Gold, which is based on developmentally appropriate educational and social emotional objectives. And again, we can talk more about that as your student is enrolled, but we use those 38 objectives to assess where the students are during their play and during general observations of the activities they do during the day. As far as behavior management, we use the conscious discipline model, which is really just giving kids the tools to talk their issues out, work through it together, be their own advocates, be their own problem solvers, as opposed to the adult or the teacher always solving the issue for the children. Just a couple of things. We're really hoping that COVID in the perfect world will not be as big of an issue by the time next September 1st rolls around, but we're also realists. So one of the big things is we'll keep masking as long as we need to. We keep social distancing a priority as much as we can. And then continuing on that, these are some of the other important guidelines we will use as far as keeping your kids safe and operating during this pandemic. Again, hoping for the best and hoping a lot of these things won't have to be protocols in the fall, but just kind of wanting to give everybody an idea of the things we're looking at while we're still under this pandemic. So again, one of the key components of our preschool is we try to have our kids outside as much as possible. So unless there is, extreme weather, extreme cold where we are not allowed to go outside, we try to have those kids outside as much as possible in the course of the day. During the winter, obviously, we spend a little less time outside, but we do want to get them outside on days that it's warm enough to get out and explore. As it comes into the spring and summer months, we spend time in the morning, afternoon, end of the day, as much outside time as possible. Some of the things you also still need to consider is we try not to have food brought from home on any occasion. We have a full-time chef that prepares our food fresh every day, and we encourage our families to have their students eat that fresh, healthy food each day. And I'll talk a little bit more about the Healthy Foods program here in a little bit. But again, just really important to us that we keep those things at home. If there is a special event, birthday or other celebration, you can reach out to the chef and he'll prepare a treat for that day. Again, so we don't have to bring items from home. That's part of a safety protocol with pandemic, but also just kind of a general practice that we like to use here at One City. And then the rest of this, we just make sure that we're using good hygiene, keeping everything clean and safe for you while your family's here. In the past, we've used family style serving. Right now, it's a little more, the serving happens by our staff. And again, if pandemic protocols are lifted, we'd like to go back to that family style. But as of right now, teachers are serving and the chef is serving the kids every day. So perfect segue into the Healthy Foods program. So we have a few pictures here of some of the things that have been served by our chefs. The picture in the bottom corner there is of our chef, Nick. He is an amazing addition that we've had here at One City over the last couple of years. And some of these pictures you see are of his dishes and how they're served to the students. And then he also does all of our community events and big events we have here at the school. So it's just amazing. Everything's prepared fresh. We have different partnerships from around the city and through the county that provide us fresh produce, fresh meat. You know, we try to be farm to table as much as we can here at One City, so you don't have a lot of prepackaged foods here, which not only benefits our kids, but it's just amazing food. So I can't say enough about our Healthy Foods program and what Chef Nick does for us here. Right, and that is it for our information on our Healthy Foods program. One of the other things that we can do is we engage families in several ways, not only at the preschool, but in the One City organization as a whole. So one of the organizations that we work closely with is FAST, which is Families in Schools Together. Miss Marilyn will be able to give more information on that organization as well. But it's basically a way that we engage our families with the school, but also our families with the larger One City community and with each other. It's a great program. And again, Miss Marilyn can give more information on that. We also have a One City Parent Council. We have representatives from the preschool, elementary, and what will be the secondary school next year. Our parent voice is very important to us here at One City. So we make sure that we have an organization for our parents to talk and help guide some of the things that we're trying to do here at One City. We also host a number of special events throughout the year. Miss Marilyn will share some of those in our calendars as she sends it out for the year. And then we also have the Family Perks program, which Miss Marilyn can talk a little bit more about as well. And then finally, when we planned this particular school year, all 34 members of our executive team and leadership team work together to kind of focus on these topics that I have here below to make sure that we have the best possible curriculum, best possible setup for your students and you as families as you engage us here at One City.
Okay, so next we'll just take some real quick glance at the classrooms that we have here at the preschool. So we showed some of the pictures of our outdoor spaces, but this will be kind of a 360 view of the classrooms. However, I did notice that I did realize that I left Miss Lisa's beautiful 2K classroom out of this video somehow, so I apologize. But the size and kind of the setups of the rooms are pretty similar. So her room would look like a lot of the rooms that you're going to see here. But we did highlight at the beginning of this video the large motor space that the 2-year-olds use, which is right next door to their classroom. And then the video will also show the 3K classrooms and the 4K classrooms upstairs as well. And then once this video is over, we'll do our staff introductions.
Renee, and I'm a float teacher here at One City Preschool.
Hi, I'm Lisa. I am the lead teacher in the orange room, which is the 2-year-old room.
Hi, I'm Busy, and I'm the assistant teacher in the orange room.
Hi, my name is Kira Swenson, and I am the lead teacher in PK Gold.
Hi, I'm Zatai Wilbur, and I'm the assistant teacher in PK Gold.
Hi, I'm Miss Lauren. I'm the lead teacher in Pre-K Blue.
Hi, my name's Kira. I'm a float teacher at One City.
Hello, my name's Alana, and I'm also an assistant float teacher at One City.
Hi, I'm Lucas, the lead teacher of 4K Gold.
Hi, I'm Michelle, the associate teacher at 4K Gold.
Hi, I'm Tiffany, and I'm the lead teacher in 4K Blue.
And I am Sakani, and I'm the associate teacher alongside Miss Tiffany.
Good morning, this is Angelique Miller. I am the administrative manager here at the preschool on Fisher Street.
Oh, here I am.
Like that little segue there, Miss Marilyn?
I know, right? That was like, oh, me. Okay, here we go. And then, well, hello, everyone. That was a lot of information, in 30 minutes. Before I go into my segment, any specific hard questions that you have, you can ask to unmute. I'm not sure how that works on here, or in the chat if you have specific questions that have not been answered based on the presentation that was presented to you. Okay, let's see if I can, if you have questions on there, I can just ask to unmute you. Good. Go ahead and ask your question. If you're able to, ask to unmute. Oh, goodness. All right, all of you are on here to ask to unmute. In the meantime, while we're still working that out there to make sure, how do you get into school? I mean, it sounds so exciting. I mean, the whole presentation was just outstanding, and we're at One City, so we can say that. But for sure, as Mr. Bryce mentioned earlier, we operate 2 schools into one. So we operate the preschool, and then we operate the elementary school. Now the charter school starts at 4K. 4K starts charter school. So we are authorized by the Wisconsin system to provide an experienced education for 4K and up families, which means that any family in the state of Wisconsin can apply for our charter school, which starts at 4K. 4K remains at the preschool because of the educational of Angie Play, and it just stays, it just makes it convenient to keep 4K at the preschool, which is at 2012 Fisher Street, which is off of Park Street here on the south side of Madison. Our permanent home is the elementary school here off of Broadway in Monona, and it starts at kindergarten. So tonight is all about the preschool, which is 4K and under. For those families that are entering or wanting their children to enroll this fall for 2K and 3K, we'll have copies of enrollment forms, hard copies, enrollment folder, traditional, like you would do it at daycare. We'll have it available starting March 1st at our preschool. So you'll be able to pick it up then. We only have one classroom of 12 students, one classroom of 12 students in 2K, and in 3K, we have 2 classrooms, 16 students each, for a total of 32 seats. For 4K again starts the charter school, which is a whole different process because we operate 2 schools into one. 4K will be part of our open enrollment period between March 1st and March 18th. You will be able to go online on our website at onecityschools.org, and I may be able to show you on there. And basically you're just providing just general information, child's name, child's birth date, address to make sure that they live in the state of Wisconsin. I don't care if it's in Toma, Milwaukee, South Beloit, or anywhere else in between. As long as it's Wisconsin, you're fine, because we do not provide transportation. And as a charter school, not providing transportation, you can't have a bus service in Madison and not have people that are in La Crosse not having the opportunity to have the transportation to our school. So that goes from 4K and up. We do not provide transportation as a charter school. So what will happen is on March 1st, between March 1st and March 18th, you'll be able to apply that quick application. Again, the name, the child's name, the birth date, what grade they're going into, address, and then the contact information of both parents. We don't ask for the race. We don't ask if there's an IEP. We don't ask if there's special needs, nothing of the sort. So if that's been an issue, because I get those questions, well, do you accept? No, we hadn't even got to that point right now. What you're trying to do is get enrolled at one city. So the main date to know is not only March 1st, but March 18th at 5:00 p.m., because that is when we will know how many applicants there are versus the number of seats. In 4K, as was mentioned, there's 2 classrooms in 4K, 2 teachers in each classroom, 19 students each. That is a total of 38 seats. Once we get past, if only we got 38 applicants by March 18th, all 38 will get in, not a problem. But history shows for the past few years, couple of years, we get well over the number of 38, which means a lottery will occur. And the lottery will happen that next week, meaning before the month of March is over, you will know where you are in terms of if your child has made it in, or if it is a lottery, or where you are on the placement. I'll use an example of this year. Yes, we did have a lottery. Yes, we have 60+ families who are still on the wait list, who will have to start all over again to apply to go into 5K because they couldn't get in. They couldn't get in. And some people would think, well, can't you just add another 4K classroom? No, you can't do that, because we are limited by our space, because we have to have space in all the additional grades as they move up, because we're going to be a permanent K through 12th grade by 24-25. So we can only have those two classrooms of 4K, even though based on parent demand, we could easily add 2 or 3 more 4K classrooms. So March 18th is when you will know, when we will know how many applications there are versus the number of seats. Also keep in mind that many of our students that are at the preschool are the younger siblings of charter students who are in kindergarten and up. Meaning, because we're in a 2-generational model, we're keeping our families together. We're keeping our families together. So they have higher preference on the seat list if they already have a child in the charter school. Does that help? Yeah, okay. Thank you for answering the questions on there.
Yeah, Marilyn, are you able to can you pull up the website really quick, and we can show them where they can also get our enrollment forms electronically. But as I said in the presentation, and as Marilyn just highlighted as well, those do need to be turned in hard copies. So you can download them off our website, but we do want to make sure we get those in hard copies. That's just a licensing rule that we have to make sure that we follow, that we have hard copies of all the forms as they come in.
So of course, we're in the virtual open house. The pop-up window immediately comes, but once you close that out, right at the top, our formal enrollment period begins March 1st. Click on Learn More. When you click there, it takes you right to Enroll Today. So as we scroll down, you can enroll in the preschool, enroll in the elementary and secondary schools. It also mentions the enrollment process, complete application. So since we're talking about preschool right now for age 2 and 3 years old, let's go right into enrolling there. Once you come onto this site, you will see all the application materials that Mr. Bryce Pickett was mentioning. Right now, of course, it shows the 21-22 school year. When March 1st rolls around by 8 o'clock, you will see this updated for the 22-23 school year. A lot of it is still the same information, but we also have to make sure that those enrollment forms that have the date on there definitely show the 22-23 so that it can be valid. So all this material will be available hard copy as well, hard copy that you'll be able to pick up at our preschool. Okay, so let's go back to, so that's for age 2 and 3K, 3 years old. For 4K, this is where I was mentioning 4K starts our charter school. 4K, even though it's housed at the preschool, it's a different enrollment application. So you're in the elementary, as a matter of fact. And as I was stating again, the 2022-23 school year will begin on March 1st. So applications will be starting to be accepted for 4K through 5th grade, which is our elementary, and then moving on up. So as we scroll down, apply today, the application period. After it ends, it tells you all the dates. Right there, it tells you about the wait list, the lottery. And right here is where you will click on for any new student entering 4K. This is where we are tonight for preschool. You will click on this button that says new families. And on there, of course, is not available because once again, we have to give everyone the same opportunity to apply starting March 1st, but it is on here where you will fill out a one-page, it's basically a one-page form that asks for the basic information, name, the child's name, the child's birth date. Oh my goodness, families, make sure you're putting the correct birth date on there. It has not failed that I get a parent, oh my God, I meant to put this birth date down. Oh, I put the older son's birth date. Or they'll put today's birth date. They'll put today's date on there as the birth date because they just so into it, and then they didn't even realize it. And later on, we'll find out, we'll get a red signal saying, this is not the correct date on here. So it is so crucial that you take the time to accurately put information in, even email addresses. Sometimes parents with fat finger and miss a letter, or they'll put .org instead of .com, or they'll put .con instead of .com, and then they'll say, I didn't get no message, I didn't get reason. Well, you didn't put the right email address. And I'm just saying, take the time. This is serious business when this comes for application to enroll at One City Schools. Questions, anyone? It looks like you're already putting it in the chat. If you need to be able to ask questions verbatim, you can do that. I'm hoping you can do that, or ask to unmute. As Mr. Pickett mentioned earlier about family engagement, that's all in our realm of the family and community. It's huge here at One City because that's what it's designed for. And so we keep our families abreast. And with 4K and up, with FAST, families and schools together, it's a parent enrichment, parent empowerment course. It's not like we're telling you how to parent. It's the ability to connect with your cohort of families who have children in the same age, and so that you realize that you're not the only one in this world that's going through this. And so after 8 weeks, it's once a week for 8 weeks. And I know parents be like, oh my God, 8 weeks, I cannot do that. What do you mean? But by the time it concludes, oh my gosh, why do we have to end this? This has been so wonderful. What a great experience. It never fails. It never fails on there. So I just want to make sure that you know that there's so many ways to be involved, even when pre-COVID and after COVID, we're going to keep you involved with One City. Okay, good question. If your child gets into 4K, do they automatically get into 5K? Good question. So once you are accepted into the charter school, no matter if it's in 4K, 5K and up, you are in the charter school. However, every single year during this open enrollment period, you have to let us know that you're returning to One City. I can't read your mind. You can't read my mind. So we have a formal process where really you're just making sure everything that's in our Power School, that's the site that we use, is all correct and up to date. And so once you're in, it's almost like a sigh of relief that I'm in. But there have been times where families that are already enrolled here will not let me know during open enrollment period that they're returning. They be like, oh, Miss Ruffa, you know I love One City. You know I'm returning. No, I know you are, but I gotta have proof. I gotta have this in this form, in this format. And what tends to happen with our current families, they procrastinate. We're only saying take 2 minutes out to do so and fill out the application. So we have to know so that the public would know. For example, if all of our kindergarten families stay and enroll in the first grade, which is the exact same number of seats, we may have to tell the public we don't have any seats available because all of our current families have decided they were returning and they get the first preference. Okay, that's how that part works. So great question. Yes, you automatically get in as long as you provide confirmation during open enrollment period between March 1st and March 18th, that's this year, that you are returning. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, and then on that same vein, Miss Marilyn, it would be the same thing for any of our 2Ks that go into our 3K program. It would just require you to update some of the forms, but as far as going through the whole application process, again, you would not have to do that.
Yeah.
So again, that big transition is from the 3K then into the 4K. So even though we're housed in the same building, you're going from the preschool to the charter school at that point.
Other questions? I'm trying to think what's been our frequently asked questions. When we talk about elementary, we have a whole separate open house dedicated to kindergarten and up. So feel free to come back. I think it's February 23rd, and we'll discuss on the elementary. We got middle school, how exciting. We'll be adding 6th grade. We got high school, adding 9th and 10th grade. So by the time we reach 2024, 2024, 2025 will be a full K through 12th grade. So you all are starting right off right now. Once you're in One City, you're not leaving. I mean, your babies are our babies now. So I just telling you all, just stay in, just stay in with us. And so families, I see a lot. This past school year, we had a lottery in 4K, we had a lottery in 5K, and we had a lottery in 1st grade. All 3 grades. So all the younger grades are the ones that we get most applications for. It's the upper grades where you're asking for families to leave their current neighboring school. That is our challenge to, provide information on why they should come to One City. So as parents right now, I see you're doing the right thing. You're starting off your children right here at One City.
And then just again, as you kind of think on what you all saw tonight, Marilyn will be posting this presentation out for you all to view again if you had questions on anything. And I also just posted my email in the chat. If you happen to think of something, you can shoot me an email. Miss Marilyn, You can throw
I'm doing the same thing.
you know, because I know in the moment we don't always think
Right,
about it. But
right.
Please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll answer any questions that you have.
And so when you get the recording, if you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and what did she say again? You can hit replay and then you can go right back to sleep. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So I am not going to hold you all. If you want to stick around and ask questions, please do. For everyone else, I thank you for joining us. Welcome to One City. Looking forward to having all you all being part of the family.
Yes, thank you again, and we hope to hear from you all soon.
Thank you.
If this has been helpful, put it in the chat, please. If this has been helpful, please put it in the chat. That helps us as well. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Let me